Hi, everyone. My name is Shiwa Chin, and my partners are Nicholas Kakuda and Rohan Datir, and this is our research on the leading causes of death for Filipino Americans compared to non-Hispanic white Americans. So Filipino Americans are the third largest Asian subgroup in the US, closely behind Chinese and Indian Americans, and they're known to be disproportionately affected by chronic diseases. There's been little research done disaggregating Filipino causes of mortality from Asians as a whole. So our objective is to fill the gap by investigating the leading causes of mortality in Filipino Americans from the years 2010 to 2020 in comparison to non-Hispanic whites. And for our methods, we cleaned the National Vital Statistics System mortality and American Community Survey population data sets to find counts of the leading causes of mortality by the general or UCR 39 codes, and also got the estimated population counts. And from these data sets, we indexed for non-Hispanic whites and Filipino Americans and stratified by race, sex, nativity, and age group. We then found the crude mortality rates and used them to find age-adjusted rates.
So the three largest causes of death in Filipino Americans are cancer, ischemic heart disease, and cerebrovascular disease, which are the same as the non-Hispanic white population and account for over 48% of the total deaths in Filipinos from 2010 to 2020. There are clear differences in the proportions of the top 10 causes when looking at race, sex, and nativity. From the adjusted mortality rates, or AMRs, we saw that generally non-Hispanic whites had the highest rates, with non-native Filipinos in close second. The four causes of mortality that had noticeably different AMR trends were cerebrovascular disease, diabetes, suicide, and fluid pneumonia. In cerebrovascular disease, diabetes, and fluid pneumonia, non-native Filipinos, particularly males, were at a much higher rate compared to non-Hispanic whites. In suicide, native Filipinos had a higher rate than non-natives.
So some key findings were the breaks from the general trends of non-US born Filipinos having cerebrovascular disease, diabetes, and fluid pneumonia at about 1.5 times the rate as US born Filipinos, and suicide also having double the rate, relative rate in native Filipino American males compared to the non-US born Filipino American males. We drew the conclusion that Filipino causes of mortality are significantly different than non-Hispanic white causes of mortality, and it could be productive to assign resources to Filipino American native mental health support to lower the risk of suicide, as well as public health interventions for non-US born Filipinos that influence potential lifestyle factors like diet, smoking, or exercise that could help the disproportionate rates of cerebrovascular disease, diabetes, and fluid pneumonia. The limitations of this study included the ACS as a population sampling data set that is not precise like the census, which is conducted only every 10 years, with a high likelihood of misclassification of death causes and that multiracial people were excluded from the study. For next steps, we hope to compare the Filipino American data to the Filipino National Database to explore any potential cultural effects that increase mortality rates. We also hope to transition to ICD-10 codes to get more specific stratifications of the deaths. Thank you for listening to our presentation.